All right, let's get ready for another deep dive. Today we're going into the mystical side of Jewish tradition.
Specifically, Kabbalah.
Right, Kabbalah. If you're already into this stuff, buckle up because we're going to go beyond the basics here.
That's right.
We're going to explore the origins, key concepts, and how it's transformed across history.
With a fresh perspective.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing how Kabbalah can seem so ancient, but yet so incredibly relevant today. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You think pinning down its origins would be simple, but it's not.
No, it's more like tracing the headwaters of a river. It's not an easy thing.
Right. It's like, where do we even begin? When do we even
Yeah.
begin looking for these origins?
The seeds are actually planted within the Bible itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, particularly in books like Genesis, Ezekiel, and Isaiah.
Okay.
Genesis, with its account of creation, it's a natural starting point for pondering the mysteries of existence, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. That's where those fundamental questions about why are we here first arise.
Exactly. And then you have Ezekiel and Isaiah, both touching on the profound concept of the divine chariot, the Merkaba.
The divine chariot.
Yeah.
Wow. These aren't just stories, though, right?
Right.
These are like sparking points for mystical thought. Right.
You could say that. While the exact timeline is hazy, the earliest mystical writings we've found date back to the 2nd and 1st centuries BC.
Wow.
It's intriguing to consider figures like Jesus, with his emphasis on a personal connection with God, as potentially fitting into this early mystical landscape.
Wait, hold on. Jesus as a mystic. That's a perspective I haven't heard before.
Right.
That really challenges those neat historical boxes we often try to put people in.
It does, doesn't it? But it underscores that at the heart of mysticism lies this direct, individual connection with the divine, something that was sought by both mystics and prophets.
Okay.
However, this personal pursuit sometimes clashed with the more structured communal nature of organized religion.
Oh, now that's interesting. So was that like just a difference in approach? Or was there something deeper going on?
Well, it gets quite complex, actually.
Okay.
You have mysticism emphasizing the individual's path,
Mm-hmm.
while religious structures are inherently social.
Right.
This difference in focus sometimes led to friction, with mystics often existing outside of mainstream communities.
So they were kind of like the spiritual rebels of their time.
You could see it that way. And that brings us to Kabbalah itself.
Okay.
Think of it as a formalized pursuit of that direct connection between the soul and God.
Oh, okay. So not just mystical yearning, but like a system for seeking that connection.
Precisely. Kabbalah emphasizes teshuva, personal transformation, as the key to ushering in a messianic age.
Okay.
This is quite different from, say, the Christian concept of a Messiah coming to initiate change.
Right.
In Kabbalah, the power lies within each individual to effect that transformation.
So a more proactive approach to bringing about a better world?
You could say that.
Okay. But wait, wasn't Kabbalah shrouded in secrecy for centuries? Why all the mystery?
Well, there were a few reasons for that.
Oh.
Firstly, fear of persecution by authorities was very real.
Yeah.
Knowledge can be powerful, and those in power often saw mystical teachings as a threat.
Yeah, of course. People in control or people in power, they don't always like ideas that challenge their authority.
Right. Then there was also concern about these complex ideas being misunderstood by those lacking the proper context or preparation.
Oh, I see.
Imagine these profound concepts being distorted or misused.
Okay, yeah. I can see the potential dangers there. It's like giving someone a powerful tool without teaching them how to use it safely.
That's a great analogy. And lastly, there was a belief that codifying these teachings in writing might stifle their fluidity and evolution.
Interesting.
You see, they saw this mystical understanding as something living, passed down through direct transmission, almost like a whispered secret.
So keeping it alive through word of mouth, ensuring its essence wasn't trapped in static dogma?
Precisely. However, even with their emphasis on oral tradition, the sheer volume of knowledge accumulated over centuries became difficult to manage. It was like trying to contain a river with your bare hands.
Right, so something had to give.
It did. Between the 11th and 13th centuries, written Kabbalah started emerging. And surprisingly, Spain became a hotbed for this development.
Spain.
Places like Soria, Girona, and Castile were bustling with Jewish intellectual life,
Okay.
giving birth to key texts like the Book of Bahir, the Zohar, and the Gates of Light.
Wow, Spain. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
It's almost like Spain became the unexpected center of the Kabbalistic universe.
It's quite a fascinating twist, isn't it?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
period saw the rise of influential figures like Moses Cordovero, Isaac Luria, and Chaim Vital,
Okay.
who shaped Kabbalistic thought as we know it today.
So these were the rock stars of Kabbalah then. What made them stand out?
Well, Cordovero, for instance, wrote Garden of Pomegranates,
Okay.
a massive analysis of the soul's journey through the tree of life.
Mhm.
A central symbol in Kabbalah.
Okay.
Imagine dedicating your life to exploring the intricate map of consciousness.
A 1,400-page analysis.
Yes,
Oh, wow. That's some serious dedication.
Yeah.
Talk about a deep dive.
it is. Then you have Luria, who revolutionized Kabbalah with his teachings on the creation of the universe and reincarnation.
Okay.
His ideas, meticulously recorded by his student Chaim Vital, went on to profoundly influence later Kabbalists.
Reincarnation. Now, that's a concept that sparks debate across many spiritual traditions.
Yes.
So, how did Luria's view differ? And what implications did it have for, personal growth within Kabbalah?
That's a great question,
Yeah.
and one that we can unpack further as we explore the evolution of these concepts.
Okay.
But first, let's talk about a period of turmoil and controversy that shook the world of Kabbalah.
Oh.
The Sabbatean movement.
Okay, color me intrigued. Let's hear about this Sabbatean movement. All right, you've piqued my curiosity. Let's dive into this Sabbatean movement. Who were they? And what made them so controversial?
Well, picture this. It's the 17th century,
Okay.
and a charismatic figure named Sabbatai Zevi emerges, claiming to be the long-awaited Messiah.
Wow. So a blend of spiritual longing and a powerful personality. Would you say that this was seen as a fulfillment of Kabbalistic prophecies?
That's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
While some embraced him wholeheartedly, many saw it as a dangerous misinterpretation of Kabbalah,
I see.
particularly the idea that one person could usher in the Messianic age without individual transformation.
So it challenged that core Kabbalistic principle of personal responsibility and transformation.
Exactly. The movement ultimately ended in upheaval, with Sabbatai Zevi forced to convert to Islam.
Wow.
The fallout was immense.
Oh, I bet.
Rabbinical authorities, worried about the potential for further misinterpretations and social unrest, imposed a ban on studying Kabbalah for anyone under 40.
A Kabbalah ban. That's a pretty drastic measure. It seems like this event really shook the foundations of Kabbalah.
It did. It forced people to grapple with the power of these ideas and the potential consequences of their misapplication. But, as we know, suppressing knowledge rarely works.
Right.
It's like a hidden spring. Kabbalah found its way back to the surface in the 18th century with the rise of Hasidism.
Hasidism.
Hmm.
I've heard whispers of this movement known for its joyful approach to spirituality. Was this a direct response to the Sabbatean controversy?
It's not that straightforward.
Okay.
Hasidism, founded by the Baal Shem Tov, arose from a different context,
Okay.
emphasizing joy, personal experience, and a deep connection with God in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
But crucially, it brought Kabbalah to the masses, albeit in a more accessible form.
So Kabbalah went mainstream. That's a pretty significant shift.
It was.
Yeah.
Suddenly, these mystical teachings weren't solely for the elite or those who'd reached a certain age.
Right.
They were integrated into daily life, infused with music, dance, and storytelling.
It sounds like a breath of fresh air, bringing back the heart and joy to spiritual practice. But how did Kabbalah, with its mystical roots, fare against the rising tide of the Enlightenment?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
The 18th and 19th centuries witnessed the rise of reason and scientific inquiry.
Mm-hmm.
Many saw Kabbalah, with its mystical language and concepts, as superstitious and out of step with the times.
The age-old clash between faith and reason. Did Kabbalah simply fade into obscurity?
It faced challenges, for sure, but it never truly disappeared. In fact, the 20th century saw a fascinating revival led by Yehuda Ashlag, also known as the Baal HaSulam.
The Baal HaSulam, the owner of the ladder.
Yes,
His title alone hints at a deep connection to Kabbalah.
it does, doesn't it?
What was his story?
His journey is remarkable.
Okay.
Ashlag was a former Marxist who became disillusioned with political systems.
Interesting.
He delved into Kabbalah and emerged with the conviction that the true path to human progress lay not in political revolution, but in spiritual evolution.
So a radical shift from political activism to inner transformation. What led him to this conclusion?
His deep study of Kabbalistic texts,
Okay.
particularly the Zohar, convinced him that humanity's problems stemmed from a lack of spiritual awareness. He saw Kabbalah as a blueprint for personal and collective healing.
So he wasn't just a scholar, he was a visionary.
Mm-hmm.
He saw Kabbalah as holding the key to solving some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Exactly.
Wow.
He became known for his extensive commentary on the Zohar,
Okay.
making these complex teachings more accessible to a wider audience. He even saw a connection between Kabbalah and the dangers of unchecked technological advancement.
Wait, Kabbalah and technology, that's an unexpected connection.
Yes.
Okay.
Ashlag believed that technology, without a corresponding increase in global spirituality, could lead to humanity's downfall. He saw Kabbalah as an antidote,
I see.
a way to counterbalance the potentially destructive power of technology with inner wisdom.
So he was warning about the importance of balancing technological progress with spiritual growth.
Yeah.
That feels incredibly relevant today.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost as if he foresaw the dilemmas we face in the 21st century.
Mm.
The rapid pace of technological change and our struggle to find meaning and purpose in a digital age.
It's making me rethink how we view both technology and spirituality. They're not necessarily at odds.
Right.
Perhaps they need to evolve together.
That's a brilliant insight.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of Kabbalah. It invites us to grapple with these big questions,
Yeah.
to explore the interplay between the material and the spiritual,
Mhm.
and to see the interconnectedness of everything.
Okay. I'm hooked. We explored the history, the key figures, the controversies, but I'm curious about the practical side of Kabbalah.
Mm-hmm.
How do these ancient teachings actually translate into everyday life?
That's where it gets really exciting.
Okay.
Kabbalah isn't just a theoretical system. It offers a toolbox for inner transformation.
Mm-hmm.
It provides practices and principles that can help us understand ourselves better, navigate challenges with grace, and ultimately live a more meaningful life.
So it's not just about studying ancient texts,
Mm.
but about applying these teachings to the here and now. Sign me up.
Exactly. It's about integrating these insights into our daily lives, bit by bit. One of the core practices in Kabbalah is meditation,
Okay.
but not just any meditation.
Okay.
Kabbalistic meditation often involves visualizations and contemplations on specific aspects of the tree of life.
Hold on. The tree of life.
Yes.
We've mentioned it before, but I'm still a bit fuzzy on what it actually is. Can you, paint a picture for us?
Of course. Imagine a tree,
Okay.
but not a typical tree. This tree is a map of consciousness, depicting the different levels of reality and the pathways between them.
Wow.
It's a visual representation of the divine attributes, or Sephiro, and how they flow through creation.
Okay, so not just a pretty picture, but a powerful symbol representing the structure of reality itself.
You got it.
How does meditating on this tree lead to personal transformation?
Through specific visualizations and contemplations.
Okay.
These meditations can help us connect with different aspects of ourselves, tap into deeper levels of intuition and creativity, and ultimately gain a clearer understanding of our place in the grand scheme of things.
Sounds like a guided tour of your inner world.
That's a great way to put it. It's about exploring the vast landscape of your own consciousness and uncovering hidden potentials.
Right.
And it's not just about meditation. Kabbalah also places a lot of emphasis on the power of language.
Okay, this is where it gets really mystical. We're talking about the power of words, right?
Precisely. Kabbalah teaches that words aren't just arbitrary sounds.
Okay.
They carry vibrational frequencies that can influence reality. Specifically, Hebrew letters are seen as vessels for divine energy,
Right.
and certain words and phrases, when used with intention, can help us align with higher spiritual forces.
Okay. That's powerful stuff. But it also sounds like something that could be easily misunderstood or misused.
You're absolutely right. That's why approaching these practices with respect, humility, and proper guidance is so important. You wouldn't want to handle a powerful tool without knowing how to use it safely and effectively.
It's like learning to drive.
Yes.
You don't just hop in a car and hit the gas.
Right.
You need to learn the rules of the road and practice with a skilled instructor.
Exactly. And that brings us to the importance of teachers and mentors in Kabbalah.
So it's not a solo journey.
Well, while you can certainly explore Kabbalah independently through books and online resources, having a qualified teacher can make all the difference in your understanding and practice.
Okay, so what would you say are the key benefits of having a teacher?
A teacher can help you navigate the complexities of the teachings, provide personalized guidance, and ensure you're practicing safely and effectively. They can also offer insights and perspectives that you might not grasp on your own.
So it's like having a guide in a vast and intricate forest. They know the terrain, can point out hidden paths, and help you avoid getting lost.
That's a great analogy. But beyond specific practices like meditation and the use of language, Kabbalah offers a framework for understanding the nature of reality itself
Okay.
and our place within it.
So it's not just about personal growth, but about seeing the bigger picture, the cosmic dance of it all.
Yes, precisely. Kabbalah teaches that the physical world we experience is a reflection of a higher spiritual realm.
Hmm.
By understanding the principles that govern these realms, we can gain deeper insights into our own lives and the world around us.
So it's like a cosmic roadmap, helping us navigate the complexities of life with more wisdom and understanding.
Beautifully put. But let's bring this down to earth for a moment.
Okay.
How does all this ancient wisdom translate into practical, everyday actions?
Right.
Can you give me some concrete examples?
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the most practical teachings in Kabbalah is the concept of tikkun olam, which means repairing the world.
Tikkun olam. That sounds familiar. I've heard that term used in social justice context. What's the Kabbalistic connection?
In Kabbalah, tikkun olam is a call to action,
So,
urging us to make a positive impact on the world through acts of kindness, compassion, and, yes, social justice.
so it's about bringing your spiritual insights into the real world and making a tangible difference.
Exactly. It's about understanding that our individual actions, no matter how small, can ripple outwards and contribute to a more harmonious and just world. Remember, in Kabbalah, individual transformation is seen as the key to collective change.
So it's an inside-out approach. You start with yourself, cultivate compassion and awareness, and that positive energy naturally extends outward. It's like Gandhi's famous quote, "Be the change you wish to see in the world."
That's a perfect example, and here's another practical application.
Okay.
Kabbalah emphasizes the importance of mindful relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It teaches that every interaction, even a seemingly mundane encounter, can be an opportunity for spiritual growth.
Wait, so even a quick chat with the barista at my local coffee shop can be a spiritual experience?
It can be. It all depends on how we approach it. Kabbalah encourages us to see the divine spark in every person we meet,
Okay.
to treat others with respect and kindness,
Mm-hmm.
and to learn from every encounter.
So it's about being present, intentional, and seeing the sacred in the everyday.
Exactly. It's about elevating those seemingly ordinary moments into something more meaningful.
This is starting to resonate deeply with me. It's like shifting your perspective, putting on a new pair of glasses that allow you to see the world through a more spiritual lens.
It's a practice, for sure. It takes conscious effort and awareness,
Right.
but the rewards are immense.
Yeah.
When we approach life with this intentionality, we open ourselves to deeper connections, greater fulfillment, and a profound sense of meaning.
I can see how that would be transformative. But for someone listening to this, feeling intrigued but maybe a bit overwhelmed, what would you say is the best way to dip their toes into the world of Kabbalah? Where does one even begin?
That's a great question, and one that many people ask when first encountering these teachings. The good news is there are many entry points,
Okay.
and you don't need to climb a mountaintop or become a scholar overnight to start exploring.
Okay, that's reassuring.
Hmm.
So what's the first step? So many paths to explore. It sounds like there's a place for anyone who's drawn to Kabbalah, regardless of background or prior knowledge, right?
Exactly. You don't need to be a scholar or a mystic to benefit from these teachings.
Okay.
One accessible starting point is simply reading introductory books on Kabbalah.
Okay, that sounds manageable.
Mhm.
Are there any specific titles you would recommend for beginners?
Absolutely. The Essential Kabbalah by Daniel Matt is a fantastic choice.
Okay.
It offers a clear and engaging overview of the core ideas without getting bogged down in overly technical language.
Essential Kabbalah. I like the sound of that. It feels inviting rather than intimidating. Any other suggestions?
Another great option is Kabbalah, a very short introduction by Joseph Dan. It's concise, informative, and provides a solid foundation for understanding the historical and philosophical context of Kabbalah.
Perfect. I'll be adding both of those to my reading list. Now, in today's digital age, it's hard to ignore the vast amount of information available online. Are there any reputable online resources for exploring Kabbalah?
That's a great question, and it's important to be discerning when navigating the online world, especially when it comes to spirituality. There's a lot of information out there, but not all of it is accurate or presented with the proper context.
Right. So how do you sift through the noise and find those trustworthy sources?
One tip is to look for websites and organizations affiliated with reputable teachers and institutions.
Okay.
The B'nai Baruch Kabbalah Education and Research Institute, founded by Michael Laitman, is a good example. They offer a wide range of online courses and resources that are well respected within the Kabbalah community.
Okay, so do your homework and look for those credible sources. Earlier, we talked about the importance of having a teacher or a mentor. What advice would you give to someone looking for guidance on their Kabbalistic journey?
Well, finding a qualified teacher is invaluable if you're serious about deepening your understanding and practice. It's not always easy, but there are ways to go about it.
Yeah, what are some practical steps someone can take to find a teacher?
Word of mouth is always a good place to start.
Okay.
Ask around in your local spiritual community, or see if there are any Kabbalah centers or groups in your area. Online platforms can also be helpful, but make sure to research the teacher's credentials and lineage.
So network, do your research, and trust your intuition. It's about finding a teacher who resonates with you and feels like a good fit for your journey. Now let's talk about time commitment. Is Kabbalah something you can dabble in, or is it a lifelong path of study and practice?
Kabbalah is a journey of continuous learning and discovery. It's not a quick fix or a one-time workshop. It's about integrating these teachings into your daily life, bit by bit, and allowing them to unfold over time.
So it's about patience, persistence, and a willingness to commit to the process of inner transformation.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so rewarding. It's not just about acquiring knowledge. It's about embodying those teachings and allowing them to shape who you are. It's a lifelong adventure of self-discovery.
Beautifully said. Now, for someone listening to this, feeling inspired, but maybe still hesitant to take that first step, what words of encouragement would you offer?
I would say follow your curiosity. If something about Kabbalah sparks your interest, don't let fear or self-doubt hold you back. Start small. Pick up a book, listen to a lecture, join an introductory class. You don't have to dive into the deep end right away. Take your time, explore at your own pace, and most importantly, enjoy the journey.
What a wonderful way to frame it. It's about embracing the process, the exploration, and the gradual unfolding of understanding. This deep dive has been truly illuminating. We've journeyed through the mystical side of Jewish tradition, explored the core principles of Kabbalah, and even touched on its practical applications for modern life. I feel like I've learned so much.
It's been a pleasure sharing this exploration with you. And remember, the beauty of Kabbalah lies in its invitation to become active participants in our own spiritual evolution. And through that individual journey, contribute to the healing and transformation of the world around us.
So if Kabbalah teaches that the individual's spiritual journey can ripple outwards and impact the world, what small change can you make today to begin your own path of transformation? That's something to ponder as we conclude our deep dive into the fascinating world of Kabbalah. Until next time, keep seeking, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.